Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday Championship finale for the Amigos Racing League. Excuse me for the muted microphone. I just had a bit of trouble there. Anyways, we are at the championship finale, and the championship is spicy. I believe Aaron Holloway made a graphic that I have here next to me. Which will describe everything for us, and that's what I will do while we observe Chris Tedder's outlap here, as he's one of the few cars on track. So, the Hypercar Championship sees Gary Smith in P1 with 68 points, Benito Luis with 66, and Aaron Sparks with 55 in P3. Now, that means that Gary Smith, who we may cut to right here, if he finishes second or higher, he's taking this championship. It's his, it's in the bag, but he does have to finish second or higher. Now, if Smith manages a third place or lower, and Benito Luis takes first, Benito Luis takes this championship. So those are the ones to watch in this race. Now, if both Gary and Benito have disastrous races and finish way back or DNF, Aaron Sparks has a chance to take it. Specifically, Gary Smith needs to be 15th and Benito Luis needs to be 13th. And again, if we have disastrous races from Gary and Benito, Smith needs a straight-up DNF for this to happen. Benito Luis needs to be 13th, and Aaron Sparks in second. Chris Tedder will take it. So we have our two favorites, Benito and Gary. Those are the ones to watch. But if everything goes wrong for them, it's still wide open. In LMGT3, with a smooth transition, we have Rainer Söckling with 68 points, shared first with Camilo Otto, 68 points each, so I'm guessing there's a tiebreaker with race wins or something like that. And Adam Locke with 65 points in third, and Samuel Mbuga in fourth with 62. That means if Rainer, who is on screen now, takes first place today, he's winning the championship. If, however, Camilo Otto takes first, it's his. So there's going to be a tight battle because these two are quick and these two have been competing throughout. Now, if Söckling takes fifth and Otto takes fourth, I suppose in either order, Adam Locke will take it. And Samuel is also in the game, provided he finishes first, and Otto and Söckling are 7th. Or below, and Adam Locke is 4th or below. So this one is also wide way as the first lap times start to roll in, but these are done on cold tires. Remember, the pit exit here at Sebring for WEC is way back on the back end of the track. So your out lap will basically count as a lap. So that will definitely not be a representative lap. Let's jump on board with Rainer and see how it's done in a Porsche 911 around Sebring. As he comes out of the hairpin there into this right-left flat-out thing. It's not a straight, but it is flat out. Into another heavy braking zone. Remember, this track is so bumpy. So your brakes really aren't where you want them to be. The grip isn't really where you want it to be. Everything is kind of disastrous. And on top of that, Sebring is in Florida, which is a famously hot place. So many times, I don't have access to track conditions here today, but many times you will see drivers also having to deal with temperature struggles. Let's get the timing tower back on screen, as we are actually already halfway through this qualifying session. Rainer Söckling still leads qualifying with Adam Locke right behind him. Camilo Otto, our other championship favorite, is so far in P6. Wonder if there's an improvement to come from him. Again, these laps are all set on cold tires. As we go to Sunset Bend here, fantastic corner. Takes an eternity to get around there in the GT3. You want to get on the power, but you have to be patient. Track all the way out to the wall here. And crossing the finish line, what's it going to be from circling? That's going to be a 203.0. With Otto also moving up to take provisional P2, but everybody is still getting their laps in. Something I want to highlight here, let's have a look at Aaron Holloway in his Peugeot 9X8, because I think this is the car that exhibits the behavior the most. Look how stiff these prototypes are. You just see the chassis vibrating all the way around the track. They are not built for this, so they're struggling with cars that want a good, stable aero platform and a track that says, no, stability is not for you. It's not what you're going to have. Let's get the hypercar standings on screen here. So far we have Gary Smith in provisional pole. That's where he wants to be if he wants to take this championship. Benito Luis is behind him. Traditionally what we've seen in the other rounds is Gary being lightning fast in qualifying as Aaron Holloway. Sorry, takes P2. 3/10 behind Gary. Smith has been on fire in qualifying, but Benito Luis has been sticking right with him throughout the race. And if Benito manages to pass, Gary will possibly struggle to get it back. That's what we saw at Spa. He was on the tail of Luis for so many laps and ended up trying an early pit stop just to try something because he could not get it done on track. Maybe we'll see something like it today. It would be an epic championship battle to follow. Now, to remind you, Gary only has to finish second, so he does not even have to really go for the race win. He just has to go for second place if he wants to take the championship. But knowing Gary, I think he wants the championship win with a race win. That would be very much like him, I think. And speaking of Gary, let's jump on board with him. Let's see what a pole sitter looks like from on board. And let's get the timing. I've been having these freezes during the session. I really hope it doesn't happen during the race. Let's get the timing up here. So we have Smith and Holloway and Hoffman doing in the provisional top 3 for hypercar. And for LMGT3 we have Circling Otto and Samuel Mbuga, who are all championship contenders, along with Adam Locke in 4th. These are all guys who can still win this championship mathematically. As we go through T1, so much commitment in that corner, hard braking into this, long left, little right, line the car up for this other long left. You really just want those corners to be over, but they aren't. They keep going down this mini straight, going down to the hairpin, well, curved straight. Now it's a straight, where you want to brake right at the 400 meter mark, as Gary does. Take it round and get on the power. Sucks to be back at work. Sorry to hear that. I would much prefer racing over working. As we come through this right-left, it's a tiny bit of tire scrub, but I don't think it's going to affect them much. Into this a bit awkward braking zone, you're on the brakes while you're still trying to turn, and if you get the car too much on the outside, as I think Gary may have there, it actually does drag you a bit out the track. So we go into this double left, and braking at 300 board. Round, eat, take that curb as much as you can, but don't exceed it, as that makes you understeer. I think Gary has taken that masterfully. Down to the straight. Let's stay on board with him through Sunset Bend, as Chris Tedder has taken provisional P2. Have a look at this. So much commitment. This car, it says I have the aero, I want to go there, but the track says no, I will not give you a stable platform to do so. Gary gets it there. Is it an improvement? 146.8. It stays as not an improvement, and with 10 seconds to go, it seems Gary has bailed out of this one. Now, let know. I hope the stream is okay there. OBS just said it disconnected. I'm still okay on the... Oh dear. Or am I? Let's see if any LMGT3s are still on track. We have this McLaren of Adam Locke. Sorry there. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Hope the stream is still doing okay. I'm gonna have to check. Sorry. It is. That's good. That's good. Okay. Less worried then. As Adam Locke goes down the back straight here on his final lap, will he be able to improve? He's half a second off pole at the moment. With circling and auto right on each other. Remember, these two are even on points, so today's result will be there. Will determine the championship. All the way out to the wall, taking all the track he can get, crossing the line. It is an improvement, but it's not an improvement in position. Let's see who is still on track, if anybody. Do have Cesare here, maybe? He is stopped. Do we have... We have another Porsche here. Marquez, just crossing the line. He's P4 in hypercar. And I believe that leaves Aaron Holloway, perhaps, just coming out here. That's going to put him P3. So I think that's everybody at this point across the line. I think we just need the server to roll over. We have some quality results to show now. This is a graphic I realized exists. So let me show you that. So this is our final qualifying order. We have Gary P1 with a 146.8, very respectable lap. Chris Tedder a 10th.5 behind. Aaron Holloway 2.5 after Gary, and just behind him Wagner Marquez here with 2.72 behind Gary. Justin Hoffman in P5. That's rounding out our top 5. Benito Luis, not where we expected him. He's in P6, half a second off Gary. It's a very tight field. Francisco Leme here, P7. Believe that's a new name for me. Welcome. 8 tenths off Gary. And John Dudley. And Alan Noor and Aaron Sparks round out the top 10 for the hypercars. Let us see. I believe this graphic should take us to the LMGT3s. Philip there. P11. Rainer Söckling takes pole. Camilo Otto takes, let's see if we can get this to just GT3 so we can get proper timings. We can. Camilo Otto takes P2. He's not even a 10th off. Samuel Mbuga in P3. Adam Locke in P4. And Oliver in his... Oh dear, these disconnects. I am very sorry. I'm just going to have to see if there's anything I can do about it. I'd hope it's not impacting the stream. Haven't really had this issue before. Okay, let us get on the grid here. Let's watch the front of the field. So that's where the action is realistically going to be. Just counting down now. 5 seconds till they start rolling.
Formation lap.
This is really annoying. Let me at least, because this is going to distract me. I'm not sure it's impacting the stream. Can I silence those notifications? Yes, hopefully. As we approach the start-finish line here.
Green flag.
And it's a green flag. They are going, and Gary has an excellent start. He is on his own already. As we see 2, 3, 4 cars in line behind him. How is this going to work out? Chris Tedder and Marquez are side by side still. Benito Luis somehow up in this field already. He has made up a position. He is now next to Aaron Holloway in the Peugeot 9X8. And they're side by side still. It's scrappy out there. Benito wants to be up front. He is wanting this championship. Around the outside, will Aaron hold on to it? He will. Aaron takes the position for now. And up ahead, Gary and Chris have got away pretty clean. As we have Benito and Aaron still right on each other here. Benito definitely wants to get past. Let's have a look with the LMGT3s, how they've been getting on. We have Circling and Auto still. I believe their start looks to have been pretty clean. Do we have anybody completely gone? I'm not. We have Samuel Mbuga. He is completely gone. He must have been collected at some point. He is way down in the rear of the field. That is a goodbye to his chance at the championship, I fear. That is unfortunate. So we have the two LMGT3 championship leaders here. Going at it. Have a half a second or so between them, with Oliver Jewick in the McLaren behind wanting to join in. With Adam Locke and Camilo Otto. There's been a seemingly pretty clean first lap here at Sebring. It's a tough track to get a clean race start on. Let's go into Sunset Bend here, see what happens. No big sense. It's also a tough place to do one. But if you really want to, there's a chance. We have a hypercar out of position there from what I can tell. That is Philip Schöckel. He must have also had a bit of an incident in the beginning there. Now, to recap the LMGT3 championship, Circling and Auto are competing basically. If either of them finishes P1, they take the championship. Now, if they finish further down the field, as Auto has an off there, will that allow Adam Locke to take P2? As Alan Nowhere is coming through, that has allowed Adam Locke to take P2. That is not great for Otto, as he will want to finish first, as that is how he will win this championship. Adam Locke can also take the championship if he finishes first, but that requires Circling and Otto to be in P5 and 4 respectively at the end of this. And if previous races are anything to go by, I doubt we'll see Circling that far down, as we already see him pulling a healthy gap there, as it sounded like something happened behind. Let's just search a bit. It does look like everything is fine. So far at least. Now, Camilo Otto is now down in P3 with Oliver Jewick in the McLaren, or UV maybe, behind him, going into the back straight here. It's very close in the LMGT3 field still, as up ahead in the hypercar field. Does look like Gary and Chris have checked out a little bit. We've seen this before, those two fly off in the distance, but that does not mean that we won't see any action up there in the lead, going by experience. Wonderful sound of that Porsche coming through. Let's have a look with Justin Hoffman and Wagner Marquez here up in the hypercar field. This is the battle for P4. Well, not quite a battle yet, but Justin Hoffman will definitely be looking to close this gap, which is currently about a second. As we also hear the sound of Benito Luis behind. Again, definitely not where we expected him to be. Sebring may just be proving a bit challenging for him compared to the other tracks we've been to, where he has performed absolutely incredibly. As this gap between Wagner and Justin is just growing, it's a second and a half at this point, so it looks like Wagner Marquez at this point has some pace to him. I think we should jump back to the LMGT3s. Have a couple of cars for P6 here, and I want to listen to a bit of Mustang, where we have Carlo Girasio and Matthew North competing, like I said, for P6. Let us have a look up in the hypercar lead, as it looks like Chris Tedder is now down to half a second gap. He is chasing down Gary. These two are blisteringly quick in their Porsches, aren't they? So far, the rest of the field is 2.5 seconds behind them. So really everyone has spread out a bit now already. Maybe some different management strategies going on. Maybe Sebring is kinder to some than others. Remember, the tires honestly do take quite a beating here. I've done a 2-hour race in a hypercar, and just even after the first stint, the tires were falling off so much that it was actually worth taking tires. I ended up shortening the second stint just to get new tires. That's how abrasive this track is and how rough it is on the tires. So even in this 1-hour race, come the end, the drivers will be struggling with some tire wear, I would wager. Let us have a look on how it's going between there we go, between Tedder and Chris. So far, the last lap has been in Chris's favor. Now it looks like in the LMGT3 lead we have Rainer and Adam caught up to each other. So Rainer is not gapping as much as he has before at this stage of the race. We have Adam locked half a second behind him. Let's look at this gap. He is in the slipstream. It is steadily coming down all the way down the straight. Definitely not enough to mount an attack or anything, but enough of this and he'll be right on him, won't he? As the gap comes down to 4/10 here, the end of this straight most likely. So we have the yellow Ferrari once again coming up to the GT3 field. Not sure if he's been in the pits for repairs, perhaps it could look that way, as these GT3s are actually not blue flagged, so they are on the same lap. If the Ferrari isn't even a lap down, not entirely sure. He will have to make his way past cleanly. The gap comes down to below 3/10. We are in solid Sen territory soon. Let's have a look here. Adam is right on him now. 2.5 tenths between them. It looks like the McLaren at this stage is getting significantly better corner exits, and that combined with the toe means that after this back straight, I wager we have a battle going. Right on. Just need to make it through here, this left-right, or right-left, it is for the drivers. And onto the straight. What's the gap at the start here? The Porsche had a significantly better trip through the twisty stuff. That is what Porsches are known to be good at. But the gap is coming down. Adam is now 3.5 tenths behind. Not an attack mounted here. Let us check back in with our hypercar leaders. Where are they at? They must be coming up on some GT3 traffic soon. They are. As Gary approaches the McLaren here. How will that play out for this battle? It means Chris is right on him now, doesn't it? They are side by side coming out of sunset. Gary has the inside for turn 1. Will there be GT3s to settle this or to help them here? Gary holding solidly onto the inside. Chris attempting a bit of a switchback but can't really get there. He's flying, darting left and right, trying to attack Gary. As we approach the hairpin down here, will Chris have an attack? Or will he stay behind for now? He's definitely trying to make sure Gary knows he's there. Let's check back in with our LMGT3 leaders. As we are coming up on this twisty bit again, with the gap having again closed during the lap, it just seems like right here is where Reiner really opens up the gap compared to the McLaren behind of Adam Locke. As back up to half a second, he is just using this twisty bit here to defend his lead going into the straight, as that must have been a track limit warning, or at least one approaching. You can see the gap coming back down, so it's just that twisty stuff there that is helping him stay in front. And that is defending him, because I do think on the straight here the McLaren is a bit quicker, at least with the toe and everything. As we have the hypercar leaders coming here, they will be joining the LMGT3 leaders soon. Flying up the inside of the Mustang, get it slowed down. Gary is being held up by the BMW here, by Wilson. Will that leave Chris open? No. Chris will also have to slow down for him right there. That's a lucky break for Gary. As we're approaching P4 in LMGT3, that's the leaders up the road there. Circling and lock. As Gary just gets it done by the hairpin, that's going to open up the gap to Chris a little bit. But Chris Tedder is still right on him. As we go by Camilo Auto in P3 here, just about. What a send. Gary is desperate to hold on to this one. So we have the LMGT3 leaders here right up the road. They're in a battle of their own. How's this going to play out? Gary flying past here. Oh, off the track, out on the grass, just around. Both cars there, just about. Chris stuck behind them still. Gary doing everything he can to give himself a break. Chris wanting to keep up, flies down the inside of Adam Locke. That's going to give Circling a bit of a break in return. Traffic giving and taking, as it does. Now all this has allowed Aaron Holloway, to catch up. He is now a second behind Chris Tedder. Intense stuff out there. Our other championship favorite in hypercar here, Benito Luis, is still being hunted down by Justin Hoffman, as the leaders have now cleared the GT3 field. They're back in somewhat clean air, as Gary Smith seems to have had something here. He has lost 2 positions. He's in the wall. Is that the championship gone, or will he recover it, as he rejoins here next to Camilo Auto and Justin Hoffman in the Lamborghini? That's not what Gary wanted. He is down to P5 now. and wanting to recover. Oh, a bit impatient there, but it worked out. Not happy. A bit of an unhappy flash there. Woof. Now the leaders are still close. Justin Hoffman here, still in his battle with Benito Luis, with a bunch of GT3 traffic here. Lina Circling holding on to it with Adam Locke close behind. Right here, with a bunch of hypercars with them here. Let's have a look here, see if we can figure out what it is that Rainer is doing. Oh, there's a spinning 93 ahead. That's Gary Smith. He must be carrying damage from that trip to the wall. That may be race over. That throws the championship wide open, doesn't it? If that's a DNF for Gary, we'll keep an eye on him here. I don't think he will voluntarily be exiting if he doesn't have to. It looks like Gary's still in it, but he's now down to P6. The championship is now wide open for Hypercar. Remember, if Gary is not P2, it's not guaranteed for him. So currently, Chris Tedder is leading, and he will want a DNF from Gary, and he will want Benito Luis, basically a DNF as well. And in that case, the championship is Chris's. I think, by my napkin math, currently the championship is in the hands of Benito Luis in P3, as Gary is out of the picture. And the next car is Aaron Sparks, who is in P7 currently, and he needs a much better result to take the championship, I think. So I think currently Benito Luis is our favorite to take it, as Gary comes by there proving he's still in it. Let us have a look down the field here. This LMGT3 battle is still going on. From what I've seen, Rainer is very good at keeping cool, though, even while under attack. He's not one to drop pace just because there's a car in the mirrors. I know for sure I am. Aaron Sparks in the Toyota is coming through here. Just weaving through the GT3s, flying up the inside. That's a bit unlucky. Caught out by the curb there. That has sent him back to Adam Locke almost. It's not a fun place to catch GT3s, this. Let us rejoin the Hypercar leaders, where we have Aaron Holloway in the beautiful Porsche 9X8 chasing down Chris Tedder in the also beautiful Porsche 963. They are still in the fight here. There we go. And they're right with each other there. It's a bit squirmy on the exit there. Chris not dealing with the same issue. So we have, let's see. Yeah, these two are just flying at the moment. 8 seconds to the next car. Benito Luis has made it past Hoffman. I completely missed this. There's so much battling going on out there. And it's lead battles as well. So right now in LMGT3 we still have Rainer Circling in the lead, and if it finishes like this, he is taking the championship. Let's see. Adam Locke can also take it, but it does require Rainer and Camilo to be in 5th and 4th, which they are not at the moment. So currently, I do believe it still goes to Rainer Circling. It does if he finishes here, but even if, I do believe even if Adam Locke gets by, he may still have it. As he goes off track there, will that open up for an attack from Adam? Gap is quite big, so most likely not. It looks like Gary Smith in Hypercar has pitted, probably wanting to get rid of that damage, filling up his car and everything, so he's ready to try and make a recovery out there. Looks like he is just leaving pit lane now. Speaking of pit stops, let us have a look at the energy out there. Looks like there's a vast difference in either strategy or fuel consumption. We have Benito Luis with 21% energy, Holloway with 46, so using a significant portion more energy than the Porsches and Lamborghini around him. Energy graphics sadly doesn't work for LMGT3, so let us just have a look at energy through the whole field here. Yeah, everyone seems to be around 50% except Holloway and Luis. Interesting what if Luis was trying a start on lower fuel maybe to get an advantage during this first stint. Let's see how that works out. Let us rejoin the lead battle in Hypercar, which is also still going on. We have two long lead battles here. The GC3 one has been almost race long. This one a bit less so, but definitely intense. As Holloway chases down Chris Tedder, who will take this race. Oh, what a wonderful angle to look at that beautiful Peugeot. It's going to be interesting to see how everything turns out after the pit stops, as we now have people off sequence with the rest of the field. Looks like the Peugeot is following through this section really well. Will we see a move shaping up? That has got to be a bit of an off track there maybe. Not sure how the stewards are going to call that. As the Peugeot is now right on the Porsche here. Chris defending, taking the inside line. Let's see, can Aaron Holloway go around the outside or switch them around? He does not manage it this time around. It's now... But he's still right on Chris, to be fair. As they are just back to racing here. It looks like Chris has warded this one off. Let's have a quick visit with Alan Noah and John Dudley, who are just right on each other here as well. I'll keep an eye on Chris and Aaron for you. We may have to abruptly jump back to them if the gaps close back up. But right now these two are right on each other as well. Let's see, and this is Porsche on Porsche, equal machinery. So this is just down to which driver can get the other one out of the way, or can hold the other one off, depending on where you're at, your perspective. This is the battle for P6. It just looks like Alan is going a bit conservative now. May have been following a bit too close for too long. The dirty air does get you in these hypercars, and that will increase his tire wear if he stays there for too long. As the LMGT3 Elite battle rages on, just a consistent half-second gap there, with it closing down and opening back up throughout. Adam Locke basically he needs one mistake from Reiner Circling and he'll be right there. But from what I've seen, Reiner is not one to make mistakes, not a lot of them. He does seem to be under pressure today. Adam seems really comfortable out there at Sebring. Have a look through here. It's just this corner it seems like Reiner is really opening up. And then coming out of here, it seems like the McLaren manages to catch back up. It's just these corners that is allowing Reiner to not be under attack on the straight, which in turn means that Adam Locke has a really hard time finding a way past. Let's have a look through Sunset, where the Porsche also seems a bit more stable, a bit more reliable just to the driver, opening the gap up a little bit again. So it is just these crucial corners that allow Reiner to just stay ahead. Let's jump on board with Aaron Holloway up in the hypercar lead, who is just coming out of that same corner. Oof, sounds like the car is as unstable as it looks. Will he send it up the inside here? He will. Just right on Chris again. It does seem like he's still dealing with a GT3 next to him. We go into this hairpin. Chris side by side with a GT3. That should slow him down a little bit. But Aaron Holloway slowed down as well, it seems. The gap did not close up anyway, as they approach the LMGT3 leaders here in a few seconds, I bet. It also looks like the battle between Benito Luis and Justin Hoffman is back on. There's a Mustang in it currently. So I may have spoken just a bit too soon. Justin wanting to catch back up to the Cadillac of Benito Luis. Just manages to take that around Camilo for the straight, really helping himself there. Just open up the gap to Hoffman a tiny bit, but definitely not out of the woods. Let's have a look with Oliver Uvik and Carlo Gerasio here. They are battling for P4. See, the Mustang should be a super stable car around a course like this. It does eat curbs for breakfast, as the McLaren flies almost in front of the Porsche there. I think he may have missed him in the mirror there. Good thing there was quick reactions from both. Made sure they survived that. Let's have a look here. Just going into the hairpin. Throwing those gears down on the Mustang. Who will have the better corner exit here. Looks like the McLaren is slightly better there. I do believe the McLaren is generally really good traction-wise and on corner exits. So that's not the place for the Mustang to try and make anything up. Let's rejoin the hypercar leaders. So they're once again super close, coming down the back straight, that must be. As Benito Luis has pitted behind them. Along with Hoffman. Both of them are getting their energy back up. I believe that maybe Luis has just straight up run out. He was on a lot less energy than everyone else. So far, Chris is holding on to the lead. But Holloway is definitely keeping up. Bet he would love to take this one in that 9x8. Let's revisit the LMGT3 Battle 4P4. So they are once again very close out there. But actually, what I have completely missed, Adam Locke has taken the lead in LMGT3. I do believe Reina is still on to win the championship, even in this case. But I'm not entirely sure. I wonder what has happened there. The gap is quite big. There must have been a mistake of some sort from Reina Circling. I'm sure he will catch back up with time. Or maybe a multiclass incident or something. Who knows? I'm sure he'll catch back up, most likely. At least unless his car is totally damaged. At least having seen his pace in other races, I would expect so. But let's stick with these two for now. The gap is now half. You can see what I meant. You can see the McLaren here is just really good on those corner exits, and that allows it to really stay ahead on the straights, even though the Mustang is very good on the straights. Did look like he had a bit of a braking mishap there in Sunset. Will that allow ascend from the Mustang? Have a look here in T1. He's thinking about it. He is there. Just about. What a dive. Not happy with the defense from the car in front. I did see some flashing lights there. Mustang is an angry sounding car already, to be fair. Let's go with them down the straight here as two hypercars are approaching. Will that impact? What's going on here? It's Dudley at nowhere. As two GT3s are side by side, they can't really do much. And there is a tap through the hairpin. Again, the Mustang not too happy as the hypercar Porsches come through. As they are right on each other now. As we have the McLaren off there, that allows Gerasio to take his P4 that he's been longing for a while. Let's have a look at these Porsches. It looks like Alan Nowhere was just a bit off track there. He's still chasing down John Dudley. This is for P4 at the moment, but we do have a pit cycle yet to come, and we do have some cars that are off cycle. So it'll be interesting to see where Benito and Gary and Justin come out. We have had a shuffle already with Gary Smith, Justin Hoffman has DNF'd, it seems. So Gary Smith is up, and he is 4 seconds behind Benito Luis, who is his main championship rival. Let's have a look here as the Peugeot is going off track, maybe just outbraking himself a bit in an attempt to mount an attack. That leaves Aaron to catch another 3 seconds back up. As we are slowly approaching the pit stop window here. 23% energy left on Chris Tedder, 21 on Holloway. As the LMGT3 field, it seems like Liner Circling is not catching back up to Adam Locke like I half expected. And then again, they were neck and neck on pace, so I'm not sure why I expected it. But I do believe he's still on to take the championship here. So he is just looking to stay where he is, as his main championship rival lurks in the background, 3.5 seconds back. That's Camilo Otto. They're currently even on points. So whoever finishes ahead, as it stands now, of those two, I believe takes the championship. Not in completely 100%, but I think that's how it stands at the moment. Now in hypercar, I'm trying, that's why I'm being a bit quiet, I'm trying to figure out who I believe will take that championship. I believe, well, Gary Smith may be out of it. It's him or Benito Luis. Currently Benito is ahead of Gary. I'm not sure how many points are in their current positions of P6 and P7, because if we put them up at the top, Luis in first and Smith in third means a Luis champion, or Luis is the champion. But I'm not entirely sure on their current positions, or if Aaron Sparks is in it. Where is he at the moment? He is behind Gary. He's DNF'd, so he is not a factor in the championship. Tedder, however, is in first, and the graphic here tells me that if Gary DNFs, as things stand, and Benito Luis also needs to DNF, so I'm not sure, but I think Benito and Gary are still the favorites. We'll have to see when the race is over and the results are in. Keep an eye on that Discord, because this is just blown wide open, and my napkin math is not effective enough to figure out what's going on. So we have a look with the leader. Aaron Holloway has caught back up to Chris Tedder, ready to mount another attack, maybe out of this straight here, as there's 20 minutes remaining in the race now. Just looks like Holloway has had a better exit here out of Sunset, but definitely not close enough for a move yet. He's getting there though. Oh, that sounds like a bit of tire screech, and Chris is a bit wide. That lets Aaron catch right up. And there's an LMGT3 right there. Was not even aware. They're side by side, just touching. All fine still. Both cars a bit squirmy, but Aaron Holloway has taken the lead off Chris Tedder as he now leads the hypercar field. What's this going to do to the championship result? Not entirely sure. I wasn't already. As they approach the hairpin with Chris still right on Aaron, they are nose to tail here. It looks like Aaron is better out of the corner here. Very, very impressive racing here. The Peugeot 9X8 is my favorite hypercar. It does please me to see it leading. I don't have any bias towards any drivers here, but it is a beautiful sight to see a Peugeot so up high. Oh, as Chris Tedder flies into the grass behind, just avoiding the Mustang. Or passing the Mustang, really trying to keep up, as it looks like the Mustang is pitting behind them. Let's have a look. There he is on the pit entry, so that may be the start of the LMGT3 pit cycle. Let's catch up with the leader here. He is doing at least one more lap. Let's have a look at these hypercar leaders. Still a super close battle here. Going through Sunset, very different lines, but it works. Both lines work, clearly. As Chris is approaching now, they are passing Camilo Auto in P3 and LMGT3. And right on each other. These bumps are... the cars are not happy with these bumps. As Aaron Holloway stays in the lead for the moment. We're down to 11% energy on the leader here. Not entirely sure on their per lap consumption if Holloway is pitting before or alongside Chris. Ooh, just a bit of a moment on the brakes. As Chris is letting himself be known in the mirror. Oh, and is this a pass? It is. As they go past line of circling, Chris Tedder has retaken the lead in hypercar. This battle is very much still on. Let us have a look. See how these go. We will be seeing a pit stop from them soon, I believe. Let's just check in with the GT3 leader. Is he pitting? He is not. He has gone past the pit entry. So the Mustang must just be a bit of a thirsty car. Or Giorasio wanted clear air and just wanted to get that stop out of the way. As Chris is weaving down the straight. Wonder what that's all about. It's just to psych Aaron out, or is it trying to build some temperature? Are the tires cooling? I would doubt it, but I'm not sure on the conditions out there. It does look hot. As Aaron mounts another attack. Can he? No, he did not get alongside. They have Adam Locke in front, the GT3 leader, and that allows Aaron to once again fly past Chris. He has not made it stick yet. As they go side by side here through the twisties, and Chris is holding on to it, but in on the grass should allow Holloway an attack here, unless he had to lift for him. Oh man, can he do the switchback here? Oh, Chris is losing the rear, just a tap there. That is unfortunate to not be able to capitalize on that. As further down the field, Alan Noah and Benito Luis are fighting it out with two GT3s involved. That is Benito Luis up to P4, and remember, he has pitted. So that is a net much higher. Did we lose a GT3 McLaren there? I fear we may have. Not entirely sure. Looked like someone was flying off the track there. Did not see who it was. So now we have Luis 48 seconds behind P3, which puts him about a minute or so behind the leaders. Yeah, 65 seconds. That may actually mean Benito is in the net lead, as there's a lockup from Chris Tedder. And they're approaching Dudley, who is blue flagged. He'll have to let those two go at some point. Looks like he may be lifting for them here. He's lifting for Chris. He's staying on the outside, not getting involved. But that has allowed Tedder to make a bit of a gap, as he just got the favorable corner entry there, being a bit ahead to begin with. This is some exciting racing for the lead up here. Can barely even keep track of the championship. We'll really have to keep an eye on the Discord. It looks like Chris Tedder's tires are a bit miserable at the stage. There see some puffs of smoke in a lot of braking zones. He may have flat spotted one of them. That will keep you locking up, as that flat spot will grab the road again, so to speak. Oh, both cars out on the grass there. It looks like Holloway got the worst of it. Let's have a look. They are going to the pits. Chris is going to the pits, it seems. Is Aaron following him? Aaron is following him, so now we have the battle of the better pit stop. Let's see who comes out on top there. So Marquez behind should be able to go another lap. Let's verify that. He is. And Benito Luis, obviously. So he's our new race leader. And Benito Luis is has pitted a while ago. So he is just he's just waiting to take the lead. Yeah, let's have a look at the energy graphic once again. Yeah, Noah is going into the pits soon. Must be this or his next lap. So that will most likely, from how I see it, let's keep an eye. Chris is back out on track. I really thought, well, of course they're not taking full tanks. They are doing very short stops. I would kind of have thought that that this would promote Luis. It did not. I thought the pits would really cost more time, but alas, they did not. So that means Chris Tedder is still in the net race lead. Wagner Marquez should be coming into the pits, I would guess, on this lap. So he did have a lap of leading. But he should be coming into the pits now on this here lap, or the next one maybe. So that's a win for, or a P1 net for Chris Tedder so far. As Gary Smith is promoted back into the top 5. It's a pretty good recovery, I must say. As Alan Noer has gone into the pits. So has John Dudley. Sorry. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. Those two are still duking it out on track. But it looks like Alan Noer has come out of the stop cycle for the better. As we have 10 minutes remaining, the Adam Lock leading LMGT3. Very, very well run from him. Rainer circling in the pits. So is Camilo Otto. Those Porsches are ready to get some fuel on board. As Chris and Aaron approach Adam Locke here, who will, I would guess, be pitting this lap, alongside his GT3 competitors, who are in the pits currently. But his lead was healthy, so he should be coming out okay. Now, between the championship favorites, I do believe, as it stands, no, I have no idea how it's going to go as it stands, actually. Smith is right behind Luis, but I'm not sure on how many points are available for each position. That's something I should have checked out. So yeah, really for the Hypercar Championship, you're just going to have to keep an eye on the Amigos Discord, where the results will be announced. Let's have a look between... never mind. That was me seeing things. So we have Benito Luis trying to make up a position on Wagner Marquez. That will definitely help his championship mission, getting another position between himself and Gary. If he can manage this one, he will have 2 positions on Gary. That might just help him take it. I believe it's still between these two, Gary and Benito. As the sun has now solidly set, solidly below the horizon. It looks like the gap between Wagner Marquez and Benito Luis is staying stable. But who knows, some GT3 traffic might change everything. May not have in this instance though. Definitely still nothing decided yet here with 7 minutes to go of this race. Both when it comes to who takes the race and who takes the championship, both seem wide open at the minute, as those tires did not like that braking from how it sounded. Ooh, yeah, some I think a bit of smoke will be coming out of those tires, but seems like he's still going okay. Let's rejoin the leaders, who are super close at this stage. Just passing the BMW of Gregorelli. Going down the main straight, start finish straight here. Front end of that Peugeot looking a bit crumbled after the little bump. And Chris Tedder had a moment. As Chris Tedder does have a moment going off track, that allows Aaron to catch right up, but not a great place to get a move done. But maybe he can capitalize going into the hairpin here. Looks like Chris has had a better corner exit for now. And those tires are sounding tired, if you get my drift there. That's a horrible wordplay, I'm sorry. As Adam Locke has now been in pit lane in the LMGT3 field, he still has a solid lead on Rainer Circling, who himself has a solid lead on Camilo Otto. As that McLaren just caught Holloway caught that McLaren at the wrong time. allowing Chris to now be second and a half in the lead. But checking in with Benito Luis, he is now right on Wagner Marquez. And remember, this position may well settle it, not settle, but very much affect the championship standings. Gary is 12 seconds behind. So really Benito has a solid shot here, because I don't think Gary will make up 12 seconds in 4 minutes, as quick as he may be. Oh, that's an intimidation move by Benito there. That has sent Wagner a bit wide, and is defending hard here on the main straight. I think Benito is catching just slightly, making himself visible. Oh, will he get this done before the race over? Just have a few minutes to see. As we are now approaching the hairpin, will he get in on the inside? He will not. Just about miss him. Wow. And was that a glimpse of a... Okay, yeah, of a hard tire. It is on Marquez. He's on a hard tire with the rest of the field, or at least the top 5 electing medium. As Marquez goes wide, he slides off the track, and that allows Benito into P3. So he'll desperately want to hold on to that, as that may just be what puts him in a favorable championship position, depending on the points available. That gap has opened up solidly. That is a solidly gained position for him, as he takes P3 with 2.5 minutes to go. Have a look at this couple of BMWs. Not on the same lap, I believe. I can't quite see. Yeah, not on the same lap, but does look good regardless. Will there be a BMW wanting to unlap himself here? And how will Hypercar lead play out, I wonder? You have Aaron and Chris once again a bit over half a second apart. Aaron looking a bit more comfortable through this section here. How will that translate onto the straight, as Chris has to get off the power? That means Aaron has gotten a better exit, but it seems like the Porsche has the superior acceleration regardless. I do think Aaron's tires are in a bit better shape. It looks like he has more grip coming through sections, like these high-speed sections at least. Has more aero on the car, or has tires in better condition. He seems to have the grip to do this stuff. You can hear the tire screech off Chris's car, just indicating to me that his tires are running out of grip, and the same can be said for the gap between these two. It's indicating to me that Aaron's tires are doing a bit better. So we have the Peugeot right with him now, and this will be the final lap. So Chris needs to get his biggest defense on that he can. As Aaron tries the switch back, does it work? It did not this time around. But he's still right with Chris. There's still a couple of passing opportunities here. Depending on how he chooses to play it, there might still be some influence from GT3s as Adam Locke is visible up there in front of them. Our GT3 leader. This has been a very long battle for the lead between these two. It's been a hoot to follow. Very enjoyable. How is this gonna work out? Oh, they were off track. It did look a bit funny to me. Will that mean that Aaron has the superior exit here? It looks like he dipped a wheel in the grass as well and over the curb. This may come down to the line. Let's see how it goes through sunset. Which was a corner, remember, where Holloway's car did look more comfortable. Looks like Chris has just about made it. As they take the checkered flag celebration flashing. What a race between these two. That has been thoroughly enjoyable to watch. Wow. Let's believe Adam Locke may have crossed the line already. I did want to follow him over. As Luis crosses to take the last step on the podium in P3. Do we have any last minute battling going on out there? It does not seem like it. Let us see if we can get some results on screen soon. For now, I will jump in with some GT3s here. Trying to spot the braking marker. Ah, okay. I did not notice that. Front left 19%. Wow, so I was not wrong about your tires struggling. Was it the 2X tire wear? Or was it just dead? Okay, so you're just completely blinded by the sun then. That is something that'll happen in Sebring. Okay, 2X, yeah, okay. That's in the territory where a tire change would have been worth it. Because, yeah, those tires can't have been happy. Okay, let us have a look at the results here. Let's start with the hypercars, if we can do it before the server shuts down. Here we go. So we have Chris Tedder taking the win with Aaron Holloway coming in just behind. Benito Luis rounds out the podium. I'm very excited to see how this affects the championship because between him and Gary Smith, we have Wagner Marquez in P4. Gary Smith taking P5, a very respectable recovery. These two were the championship favorites in Hypercar, remember. Alan Noer takes P6 and John Dudley takes P7. And that's the Hypercar finishers. Having a look at the GT3 field, we have Adam Locke taking the lead with Rainer Circling coming in P2 and Camilo Otto in P3. I believe this means that Rainer Circling has taken this championship, but again, you will have to check in with Discord for confirmation when the points are calculated and penalties are given out, if any. Carlo Gerasio taking P4 in the Mustang, Oliver Uvik and Nathan Warren, P5 and 6 in the McLarens. Matthew North in P7 in the BMW. Britt Batiste in P8 in the Corvette. Steve Wilson in P9. Adriano Grigorelli in P10. And finally, a couple of DNFs from Cesare Battistelli and Samuel. Unfortunate start he had to the race. He was mathematically in the championship, but was not to be this time around. And with that, I thank you for watching or listening in. This has been a pleasure. This has been a hoot of a season to follow. And and I'm sure there will be a new season right around the corner with the Amigos Racing League. So make sure to sign up if it isn't already full, because as you've seen on these live streams, the racing is excellent out there. With that, I will sign off. So thank you for this season.